welcome. I see you found Dress to Deliver's Instagram TV channel. Hello, welcome again. My name is Jen. Today I want to talk to you guys about giving birth without a dress to deliver gown or with, and how it matters and what the difference is. I have two babies. My firstborn was born almost a decade ago. How that has happened, how I've been a mom for a decade, I have no clue. It certainly doesn't feel like it. But this was back in 2009. I was in labor with her, and I didn't know about dress to deliver. I certainly didn't have a dress to deliver gown. I'm a plus size woman. Even back then, I am typically a size 18, 20, and when I'm pregnant, like a 22. So when I went to that labor ward and they gave me a hospital gown, I was crushed. My ego was crushed that I didn't fit into the standard hospital gown. My arms didn't fit. I had to like pop the buttons to where it was just hanging on by one at my shoulder. My behind surely wasn't covered. It actually only covered the front and sides of me, and then my entire backside was exposed. So bad to the point where I had to wear a second gown backwards to cover my backside. So you can imagine how self-conscious I was and how uncomfortable I was. I was in the hospital laboring for like 12 hours or so, and it was embarrassing for me. I was embarrassed. I was certainly uncomfortable. When I had to have monitoring and stuff, you had to pull up the gown, so then your whole bottom half was exposed. It was not fun. I didn't like it. It was itchy. Everything was out and hanging. Nothing fit me. When they wanted to give me my epidural, I had to take the back gown off. And then from that point forward, I couldn't even have it on because of the epidural coming out. And it was a nightmare. So flash forward to 2018, just 7 months ago when I gave birth to my second daughter. I was pregnant a little, obviously, before that. And I was thinking about, the supplies and things like you're prepared to have with my baby. And since they're so far apart, I was starting over. And I flashed back to that first birth experience and said, what would I do differently? I would not wear that hospital gown. That was horrific for me. And I don't ever want to have to go through that experience again. It was probably, honestly, one of the worst things about being in the hospital and giving birth. And it stuck with me all these years. A decade later, I'm still traumatized by having to wear the hospital gown. It was so bad. So that began my internet search for maternity hospital birthing gown options, and I found Dress to Deliver. It was like a godsend. And I ordered a gown, and I was able to try it on in my home. I had it, I think, a month or two before giving birth. And I took it with me to the hospital when I was in labor. And I asked the nurse, I said, before we do anything, can I just change into this? It's going to be more comfortable for me. And she kind of looked at it and goes, well, what is it? And when I told her it was a birthing gown, she checked it for all the approved access points. And she was like, yes. And tell me where you got it, because this is beautiful and amazing. We've never seen this before. And I promise you, every nurse, every doctor, every mother on that labor and delivery ward floor complimented me on my dress, on my birthing gown. They said, where did you get that? I really loved it. So hands down, I was the most fashionable mom in the maternity ward. But more importantly, I was the most comfortable mother in the maternity ward. I couldn't even tell you. When I came out of that bathroom and I changed into the gown, knowing that I was facing labor and this was the moment, I have to bear down and give birth. I just had peace over me. I wasn't worried about that problem that started 10 years ago. I didn't have those things in the back of my head. It's really emotional for me because it was that imperative to my birth process. It really brought peace and comfort. So I walked out with just this relaxation and able to go into my labor only focusing on my labor and not having to worry about all these other things. And it was perfect because they could put the belly monitor on me with the cords coming out. I wasn't exposed. People weren't looking at my backside. I had sleeves on. I wasn't, trying to hold everything up. When I wanted to breastfeed afterwards, I didn't have to take the whole gown off. I was able to just unbutton and breastfeed and then discreetly put it back up. And when I wanted to walk afterwards to get your blood flow going and get your uterus contracting and, get things back to normal, I was able to get up and wear that gown without having to change first and put on a different garment and worry about all these different things. I was able to just get up and wear that same gown and take a few steps and walk. It was, I couldn't even tell you how different it was, night and day, between the hospital gown and the Dress to Deliver 3-in-1 birthing gown. So if you were on the fence, sorry, I'm just a hand talker. If you're on the fence about a birthing gown, I couldn't obviously recommend getting one enough. If you've had a previous labor with a hospital gown, you know how bad it is. You know how rough it is. Literally, the gowns are starched and rough. Our gowns are made out of bamboo. The fabrics are softer than a dream. They're double lined. They're antimicrobial. So when you do get blood and fluids and whatever it may be on them, they wash out, which is amazing because you can keep using your gown. You can bring it home and use it for nursing, breastfeeding, a nightie. Even if you need to go run down the street and check the mail. I mean, if I've posted pictures before, there's women that just kind of throw a jean jacket over it and people don't even notice. It's really versatile and worth every penny for your birth. I promise you. I just want to share that with you, my experience, and let you know that it has changed my world giving birth. I will always have one in the future.
This pregnancy was unplanned, a surprise.